So we have a covert army of exiles that hit a Cuban beach in 1961. And, well, we see a secret plan that just kind of falls apart in the view of the public. I'm Matt Hasquin. I'm a high school history teacher, and I'm taking you through Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire, line by line. And we're up to Bay of Pigs invasion. We just hit Dillon, Berlin, and now Bay of Pigs invasion. And when Billy Joel sings Bay of Pigs invasion, he means the April 1961 CIA-backed attempt by Cuban exiles to overthrow Fidel Castro. And the plan started taking shape in the last months of the Eisenhower administration, and it landed on the desk of brand new President John F. Kennedy. And it promised this a spark, a quick spark that would ignite an uprising in Cuba. And what it delivered was just a televised failure. So, some details here. Who went ashore? Well, there's about 1,400 Cuban exiles that were trained in Guatemala, and they were organized as a group known as Brigade 2506. The plan called for pre-invasion airstrikes in order to knock out Fidel Castro's small air force. And then it would be followed by landings along the Bahia de Cochinos on Cuba's southern coast at Playa Larga and Playa Girón. Now, the goal was, secure a beachhead, then proclaim a provisional government, and then ask for international recognition. And from the start, the politics began pulling at the tactics of it. So to preserve deniability, Washington scaled back the air cover that was called for and also canceled a second airstrike. Cuban forces were ready. T-33 jets, Sea Fury fighters, and ground units hit the ships and the beach, sinking supply vessels and then isolating, the invaders. And without resupply or meaningful air support, the brigade ran out of ammunition and also options. And within 72 hours, the survivors surrendered and more than 1,000 were captured. The consequences reached far beyond the beach. Inside the United States, Kennedy took responsibility and he replaced CIA leaders. Inside Cuba, the fiasco boosted up Castro, hardened his own pivot towards the Soviet Union, and helped set the stage for the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. In the year that followed, Washington launched Operation Mongoose, which was a covert program of sabotage and pressure, but the Castro regime endured. Why do we see the line, or why do we hear the line in the song? Well, because Bay of Pigs invasion marks the moment when Cold War, secret operations, it collides with reality. It's a lesson in how plausible deniability can actually undercut military logic, and how a failed gamble, it redraws or gives birth to the next crisis. When we tie it back to the song, in 4 words, Billy Joel, Bay of Pigs invasion, he tags a short invasion with a long shadow. You have exiles on the beach, you have canceled air cover, and you have a superpower rivalry that is just getting more tense, only separated by the Florida Straits. The reason why it matters, the Bay of Pigs explains how strategy and optics and escalation can just intertwine. A small covert action reshaped, U.S.-Cuba relations. It strengthened Havana's Soviet ties, and it influenced decisions during the missile crisis a year later. So anyway, if you enjoyed this particular episode, please leave a like, a comment, a follow, a share, any of the good stuff, and I'll be happy to have your support. And anyway, we're going to keep making these videos because we're going to go on to the next line of the song soon here, and we're going to go from, Bay of Pigs invasion, and we're going to go with Lawrence of Arabia as the next video. Thanks for watching.